Moammar Gadhafi rose to power as Libya's leader during a bloodless coup in 1969. In toppling King Idris, he became the youngest world leader. His style, often quirky and flamboyant. For much of his more than 40 years in power, Gadhafi was at odds with the U.S. and other Western governments. Relations deteriorated in the 1970s following his support of liberation movements in places like Africa and the Middle East. They hit their low point in the 80s. In 1986, the U.S. attacked Libyan patrol boats in waters Libya claimed as territorial. Then an explosion at a West Berlin nightclub killed 2 American soldiers. The U.S. claimed Libyan involvement. 10 days later, President Ronald Reagan ordered airstrikes that killed 31 people, including an infant daughter of Gadhafi.
We have done what we had to do. If necessary, we shall do it again.
The bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 over Scotland 2 years later killed 270 people. When Gadhafi refused to hand over 2 agents suspected of being involved in the bombing, the UN imposed sanctions. By 1999, Gadhafi changed his mind. At the urging of Nelson Mandela, the intelligence agents were handed over for trial.
Our modest contribution to resolving the Lockerbie issue will remain a highlight of the international aspects of our presidency.
A year later, Gadhafi worked out the release of 4 Western hostages in the Philippines. Sanctions were finally lifted in 2003 when Gadhafi took responsibility for the Pan Am bombing and paid $2.7 billion to the families of those killed. Soon after, President George W. Bush announced that Libya had agreed to disclose its weapons of mass destruction following months of secret talks.
He's agreed immediately and unconditionally to allow inspectors from international organizations to enter Libya.
By 2006, the U.S. reestablished diplomatic relations and removed Libya from the list of state sponsors of terrorism. American oil companies soon rushed to make new drilling agreements in the oil-rich nation. Despite Gadhafi's improved standing in the world, he was not able to escape the surge of popular uprisings sweeping through the Arab world. Matt Friedman, The Associated Press.